Hi there and welcome to The Better Life. My name is Chris and this is the third in a three-part introduction series on how to start getting fit. Now in the first two videos I covered activity and nutrition, so you're probably expecting me to go into something like recovery or sleeping properly. Or perhaps you're expecting me to go into something about motivation. The subject of this video is going to be perspective. Now, in some regards, we are actually talking about motivation here, but what I really want to do is pull you back to the absolute core principles of what will keep you going throughout an initial fitness program. And of course, the best way to do that is to understand where our motivation comes from. And it comes from the very thing that caused you to want to get fit in the first place, and that was your perspective. I mean, think about it. How many times do we say that we want to achieve a particular goal? We might run up to people that we know and say, oh, I've just decided, I want to lose weight. I want to get myself fit. I want to, achieve something that I haven't done before. I want to go and get a new job. And we have that goal. We have that sudden, get up and oomph. And we feel motivated. But what is it that inspired that motivation? Now, the reason I bring this up is because one of the key things that we know we have to do whilst we are getting ourselves fit and, increasing our physical activity or cutting down on the donuts is staying motivated. We know that we are going to have to persevere in order to stay motivated. But what most people seem to neglect is where that motivation comes from. Why is it that at some point we jumped up and said, I've got to do something about this. I need to change. I need to take action. I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be difficult, but I'm going to do it. What is it that brought about that moment? And I'll tell you, it wasn't that we suddenly felt motivated because, it fell out of the sky and just hit us on the head. It's that we had a moment where we saw things differently, just for a second. And it made us want to change. It made us want to put something down or pick something up. It made us want to achieve something we haven't yet been able to achieve. It made us see the importance in going without something in order to get something else. And that's really what we need to cling hold of in these moments throughout a fitness regime or throughout some sort of dietary changes. We need to remember why. Now, so often we figure out that what we want to change. We figure out what we might want to achieve. We understand how we might do that, such as, the guidance that I've given you in the first two videos. That's the what and that's the how. But in order to stay motivated, we really need to focus on the why. And that thing that motivates us, that why, is a moment of perspective. When we see ourselves with clarity, when we realize that, another fried breakfast or that cigarette is going to decrease the likelihood of us walking our daughter down the aisle or giving our son that encouraging wink while he's standing at the altar. It's seeing ourselves in the mirror and suddenly gaining some perspective and clarity on how far we've fallen from our vision of ourselves, of how we want to look or feel. Perhaps it's that we go on a family outing or a social activity with friends or colleagues, and we find ourselves lagging behind and feeling breathless, and we realize, wow, I once would have killed this. I could have gone for a ramble over the moors, and we suddenly realize that we've fallen so far from what we would like to be. And we have a moment of clarity, a perspective, a moment of perspective when we go, whoa, that's enough. My goodness, I want to change. I need to change this. Now that is the why. That is the why that makes us decide what we want to change. And then we figure out how we're going to do it. And in essence, what we always need to be doing, especially in those hard times on the last 2 miles of a 10-mile run, we need to keep reminding ourselves of the why. We need to remember that this is about looking how we want to look. It's about going out and enjoying ourselves with friends and family. It's about being able to say yes and join in with everybody on what they're doing. It's about living the life that we want to live. This is what makes the better life. It's the drive towards the better life. And it's that which gives us motivation. It's that moment of perspective that makes us stand up from what has become the norm of our lives and makes us decide that we want to change it, we want to make it better, we want to do whatever it takes. And in those hard times when, we can feel our motivation failing, how do you just grab motivation again when motivation is failing? Well, that's why this video is about perspective, because the motivation comes from perspective. It is our perspective that drives us forwards, that gives us the reason to push onwards. Now, the truth is that, if we've gained a lot of weight over the years, or we've, decreased in our physical fitness because we haven't been so physically active, the reason for that is because we so often came up against a fork in the road and we didn't look far enough down the line. We didn't look to the horizon. Because when we're looking at the left track and we see that, in the next few steps, we're going to be going out in the rain, going for an 8-mile run, or perhaps going out to the gym, and we're looking on the right-hand track and seeing that we can, catch up on a few Netflix series and enjoy a chocolate brownie or something. I mean, which one looks more appealing? And so often it ends up that, we choose that one. But if we looked further down the line, we would have seen that, we would have increased in our weight. We wouldn't look so good in those clothes. We wouldn't be so active or be able to join in playing around, the moors or the woods with our children or our work colleagues. And however, when we look at the other track, it might have meant that we went out for an hour in the rain and went for a bit of a run. But looking further down that track, aligning our perspective, toward the horizon, we would have felt better. We would have felt proud of ourselves, more fulfilled. And looking even further down that track, down that road, we would understand that we would live a life that's longer and healthier and more fulfilled and more active, more energetic, essentially easier. So it really does come down to perspective, and there are going to be many times when you are in the middle of your fitness regime or, tweaking on your diet, and there are going to be times when you have a fork in the road. And it's when our motivation fails us that we start to consider going down that wrong road again. And that's when we need to remember to align our perspective to that moment of clarity when we decided to do something different and improve our lives and make it better. So the point of this video is to say that it's no good for somebody to try and motivate you and say, hey, just be motivated. Well, that's not going to work. But in order to give you helpful tools to aid you in your behavior and aid you in making better decisions, it's not about just deciding to stay motivated, but it's about giving yourself reminders of that perspective, that moment of clarity when you decided to do something different, when you found the why. If you want to be something different, something better, you can achieve that. And using the information from the first 2 videos in this series, you can really make some progress towards that person that you want to be. But I would just like you to keep in mind that, those first two videos were about the what and the how. But you've just got to find ways to remind yourself of the why. And maybe it is about being around your family or being around for your family. Maybe it's about enjoying things and experiences with them. Maybe it's about just being more confident as you want to remember yourself being. And maybe it's just about fitting into, a new item of clothing for an event that's down the line and you want to feel confident and proud and fulfilled. And all of those are great reasons. Just remember, find a way to remind yourself of that moment of clarity when your perspective changed and motivated you as to the why. Now, there are different ways that you can do that. For example, you can put something on the calendar, a picture of your old self when you were fitter, healthier, the weight that you want to be, and put that up as a reminder of what you want to achieve again. You could, put a picture of a celebrity that you would like to look like on the fridge and make sure that you constantly focus on that. But to be honest, that's about comparing yourself to someone else, and I don't really think that's the best way to do it. At those moments when you're facing one of those difficult choices, remind yourself that it's about being around longer, being healthier, so that you can meet your grandchildren, so that you can be someone that they remember. Remind yourself, take notes of how you felt when you were out on that social activity with work colleagues, the exclusion or the embarrassment. And these are all very, very real emotions, and often it's these kind of situations which give someone a kick up the bum and make them realize, I'm sure I can be more than this. Okay, so to summarize this video, if you want to make the most of a fitness regime, if you want to achieve your goals, then you know that you're going to have to stay motivated, and there will be times when you want to back away from your fitness regime, and you'll be facing that fork in the road, and you'll be tempted by a Netflix series rather than go into the gym. And the important thing to remember there is that when you're not feeling motivated, it doesn't really help that someone says, oh, you've got to stay motivated. So the way to do that is just give yourself a moment, make a reminder on your phone for gym time, or go into your fitness class, and don't just write fitness class, write fitness class, because you really want to be someone that's more confident, because you want to look better in 6 months, because you remember how you once were and want to return to that state of energy and vibrance in your life. Write that on the reminder. It's not just a reminder that you have a time set aside to go out and exercise. It's a reminder of the why. Looking at your phone and, seeing the reminder for, your time at the gym, but then also seeing a reminder of why you want to go to the gym, it's immediately going to engage that drive, that perspective that made you stand up and go, oh my God, I want to change, I need to get to the gym. And that really will help you in your motivation. It will generate the motivation. It will give you that drive to step out there and stick to your fitness regime. So just take those steps in the beginning. Find ways to remind yourself constantly about the why, and the reason, the purpose, that moment of perspective when you realized, I want to change and I want to be something better. And if you can incorporate that into your workflow, if you can incorporate that into your environment, it's really going to help to generate the motivation and the drive for you to succeed in your goals. I really hope you've enjoyed this 3-part introduction series. Please do subscribe to the video channel. Please do go and register on the website and keep in touch with me. There are some free PDFs to download from the website, and I really hope you enjoy those as well. If you know anyone that would benefit from this introductory series, please do share these videos. It would mean a lot to me. I'd really appreciate your support. And if you're after fitness coaching or life coaching or any of the other services that I make available at the Better Life website, please do get in touch, and I would love to begin a discussion with you on those. Okay, that's it for this 3-part introduction series. Thank you so much. This is The Better Life.